up, Bulls Nation, and welcome into CHGO Bulls Pregame, presented by Pointsbet. Don't forget that promo code CHGO when you sign up to live your bet life. I'm Matt. You can follow me on Twitter at Bulls_Peck. My friend, who I'm currently a little bit mad at, Big Dave, you can follow on Twitter at BNWL Sports. We are CHGO_Bulls on Twitter. We got Lawrence and Joey hanging out with us here at our downtown Chicago studios.
Tell them why you mad, though, son.
Because right before we went live, you were peer pressuring me into eating a meatless topping pizza for dinner tonight. And you know that that's one of my trigger buttons, and I'm not here for it.
You have a million trigger buttons, Matt.
Yeah.
Sometimes I don't know which one to press.
And you know that that's one of them. And you know that I'm pissed about the Bulls. Last night's happiness is over.
It's over?
Reality is set in.
We're back?
Yes, we're back.
All right, we're back. Get that anger meter ready tonight, Joey. It's on, man.
And you're talking to me about dairy-free cheese. Not a thing.
Vegan pizza.
Not a thing.
It's delicious. I get 4,000 followers. That's what you eating.
I hate you right now. Bulls fans, I need your love.
Your hate makes me love you more.
Because my most trusted advisor and friend is ruining my mood right now. Speaking of ruining my mood.
The Bulls.
Yeah. Okay, so
king.
Alex Caruso is out with a back tonight.
Back out of me.
Thank you. Mm-hmm. Your boy, Matty Legend, Matt Thomas, out with a leg contusion.
Oh!
Still don't know how he got that without doing anything.
So jump.
But here's the part I don't get. Mm-hmm. Zach LaVine is playing tonight. Mm-hmm. DeMar DeRozan playing tonight.
Yes.
DJJ and Javonte were both also listed on the injury report as probable. DJJ with a knee, Javonte with a quad, both active as well. We talked about this during last night's postgame. Now that you have clinched, do you rest guys? Do you play guys?
Yeah.
Seemed like you, me, and our pal Mark K were all in the same boat of you rest guys.
Yeah.
And Billy and his players are saying, nah, we're playing.
They don't want to do it. They want to play. I mean, players always want to play. You know, well, I shouldn't say all of them. There are certain players who don't. But players usually want to play. And guys like Zach LaVine and DeMar DeRozan, they are definitely from that school of we're going to try to play every single game we possibly can. Now, Zach probably has that mindset because of the trash that he used to be on. You know what I'm saying? He's used to, no, I'm doing it. He doesn't understand resting, you know what I'm saying, when his playoffs are coming up and things like that. DeMar DeRozan, he's from the school of Kobe. All right, Kobe's going to play every single game. It's what it is. So I understand those schools of thought. But sometimes you have to save somebody from themselves. And they need some rest. I don't know when they're going to get it. Maybe they'll get it next game or the game after. So all I can do, Matt, is have trust and put my faith in that Bulls coaching staff that they're going to tell those guys at some point in time, guys, you need to rest. And I'm just going to have to trust they know what they're doing because, honestly, I don't get it. I would definitely rest him tonight. I wouldn't want him to play. Like I said, maybe they want to move up, you know, in the seedings because there's certain teams they might not want to play or would try to avoid. That could be a case in this instance, but I want the rest, though. If I just have to be blunt and honest about it, I want the rest.
Yeah, and look, you're a game behind Toronto now with these three to go, and you can't control what those three teams, Boston, Milwaukee, and Philly, are going to do anyway.
Sure.
So it's not like the Bulls trying to re-leapfrog Toronto into fifth will actually allow them to control anything because they don't know who's winning more games between Boston, Philly, and Milwaukee over their final games, which, by the way, as we're talking about this, Joey, you want to throw up the updated Eastern Conference standings after last night's action. It is crazy.
It's insane.
They are tied. Identical records, 49 and 30 are Boston, Milwaukee, and Philly. You see Miami there up in the one spot with a pretty comfortable lead at this point, 2.5 games over each of those three teams. Mm-hmm. Toronto, 3 behind that trio, and the Bulls 1 game behind Toronto. You know, there is maybe some element to those teams near the top trying to finish at a specific spot, maybe third or fourth instead of 1 or 2, to avoid Brooklyn.
Yeah.
That really, to me, is the only thing when it comes to these seedings right now with a handful of games to go for each team that you could maybe actually finagle yourself into.
Yeah.
When you're the Bulls, there is no difference between 5 and 6, and you can't predict how those three teams are going to finish out their season.
No.
So in the meantime, if you can rest guys who need it, I just don't get why not.
But look how close the standings are in the Eastern Conference. Can you imagine a team like Philadelphia trying to mess with their matchups, lose on purpose or something? Because you don't know what the other teams are going to end up finishing as. I think the best course of action right now is just play and let the chips fall as they do. You could end up screwing yourself, if you lose, and then who knows what the seeding's going to end up being. All these teams are so close together.
I hear that. That's a good point. That's
a
good way to put it. No, that makes sense about what he's saying. That makes sense. We don't like it, but it makes sense. It makes sense. I still want the rest. But I feel you. It does make that kind of sense.
But that doesn't really go for the Bulls as much as it goes for the teams at the top that would be actively looking to avoid the Nets.
That's what I'm saying.
Right, exactly. The Bulls, they're pretty much locked in.
And their schedules are weird, too. I mean, it's not like those teams are playing, soft teams coming up. Like, we looked at the schedule. The Bucks' next game is against the Celtics.
Tomorrow night.
Yeah. The 76ers' next game tomorrow night is against the Raptors. Yeah. So they're still playing against teams that are still playing, and fighting for something. So we understand that. The Bulls, fate is kind of been sealed right there. Hey, Lawrence. Bye, Lawrence.
Bye, Lawrence.
Bye, Lawrence.
Love you.
Have a good one.
The Bulls' fate is sealed, and it's fine. 5th, 6th doesn't matter. Yeah. Looking like 6th. So it's like, okay, well, do you have a preferred opponent, and would you want that team to end up at 3 if you're going to go ahead and end up at 6 versus them being – I mean, based on what we'll see tonight, which, by the way, Boston also had a long injury report coming into this game. Obviously, no Robert Williams with that knee surgery. We'll talk about him a little bit later. Juwan Morgan also out. He is in protocols. Please, COVID, don't come back to the NBA. He basically is a guy they picked up off the scrap heap when Robert Williams went down.
Okay.
But so their trio of Tatum, Brown, and Horford were all on the injury report, probable. Ime Udoka just confirmed in his pregame meet with the media they are all available.
And that's what's interesting, too, because going into the next game,
they play the Bucks tomorrow night.
Exactly. Like, are they going to rest? Or, again, like, I think all three of us have said this. Like, you just don't know. You know what I'm saying? Like, we don't know how it's going to be or how it's going to turn out. So you could either put your best foot forward and try it that way, or you could rest everybody and try it that way. And I guess the Bulls are saying, we're going to try to win and just keep trying to play the way we've been doing. So
yeah, Charlie in the comments saying the Bulls are going to be 5th at best. They'll be 6th. It's going to be Milwaukee, Boston or Philly with no home court. Rest in all caps. That's how I feel about this right now.
Yeah.
Roger saying, Matty Legend out. We are screwed.
You better tell him, Roger.
Which is hilarious because I also saw somebody ask, how did Matt Legend hurt himself without even playing? Our pal Marquet in the comments said he burnt his hand. So what did he say? He burnt his hand sinking jumpers in warm-ups. Because he was on fire.
It's a deep burn. It's on fire. It's what he. Yeah, that's what Will told us. Like he's a.
That's what Goalie was saying the other day. He's like, man, you seen Matt Thomas in warm-ups? Yep. That dude's out there slaying,
killing everybody out there, man. Matty Legend. I hope he gets a chance to play. I really do in these last couple games, man. And I promise you, if he scores 20-something points, you think Matt's anger is high? You're going to need a Dave Joy meter, baby, because it's going to be off the charts if my man Matty Legend goes crazy. And Matt knows it, and he knows I will do it. He knows I will do it, man. Oh, my God. Get well, Legend. Get well, sir. Rest up.
So did you see – I texted it to the thread with you and John and our buddy Bulldog earlier today.
Shout out.
They put it on the Bulls Instagram. So they had some collab with some artist who made a deck of cards that are Bulls deck of cards.
Yes.
And so like DeMar is a king and AK and Eversley are on one of the aces. Okay. One of the other aces is just the starting 5 from the beginning of the season.
Okay.
And I had a curious thought, which is like, who are the 2s in that deck of cards? Is it Matt Thomas? Is it that like how do they decide who the lower numbered players are in a Bulls deck of cards? No. And how do they do that graciously and politically?
Let me tell you why. If Matt Thomas is a 2, you know why it's perfect? Because deuces are wild.
Okay.
Oh, okay. Yes, sir.
The part I did
like that
love,
one, Joey? You like that one?
They only shared a couple of examples, those I listed. The other one that they shared, you know who the Joker is, right?
Let me think. No, who's the Joker?
Benny the Bull.
Oh, fair. See, I was thinking the
Because,
team.
of course.
I wasn't thinking
Right, yeah.
everybody.
No.
Okay, all right.
Benny is the Joker because that's perfect.
There it is.
But
That's
I
perfect.
want to know who the 2s and 3s are.
I hope it's Matt Thomas. Like, which one? Because the 2s will still have worth to him more so than the 3 would.
Right.
You
Yeah.
know? So, yeah, Matty Thomas is the Deuce. Deuce is wild, baby.
So
But if he's a 3, he's a great 3-point shooter. So
we did get word about Lonzo. We'll talk about that in just a minute. But first, Big Dave, give the people the points bet.
Oh, that Pointsbet app. That's what we talking about now. Because the best way, ladies and gentlemen, to support the CHGO, that's this right here, is to download the Pointsbet app and use that code CHGO when you sign up. And if you do that right now, you can get yourself 2 risk-free bets up to $2,000, ladies and gentlemen. But that's not it. If you make a $50 or more first-time deposit, you'll receive a free CHGO membership, which unlocks all of that cool web content. You know, the Peck and Go to trademark is on the way. You know, Mark K, you know what he doing with that pen game. Will Gottlieb, come on now, it's crazy. And you'll get more of those wonderful things and these other writers covering these other awesome teams on this awesome network, ladies and gentlemen. All that for free. Plus, I'm not finished. Get yourself a cool free t-shirt from that CHGO locker. We've seen them on the social media. I know you have. They look amazing, don't they?
You know what
enjoying them?
I thought I had the other night, Big Dave?
What's that, man?
After wondering, where are ours? I think they made it a priority to get the T-shirts out to all the people, and then they're going to send us ours because y'all are the priority.
That's the right company.
It took me a second to accept that, but then
Yes.
I think I figured it out.
I think that was the right word for you is acceptance.
Right.
Because he was, I'm not first. Hold on. I am Matthew Peck.
You know how patient I am.
Yes, that's 2,000 in free bets, a free CHGO membership, and a free T-shirt from that CHGO Laha, all for making that $50 first-time deposit at PointsBet. And introducing, ladies and gentlemen, PointsBet's new feature, the live NBA same-game parlay. For the first time ever, you can build the perfect live NBA same-game parlay only with PointsBet. Combine your favorite bets anytime during the game, and if you want more,
And we know you do.
you can also boost your live same game parlays, y'all. You can watch live, parlay live, boost live, and partay live with PointsBet. And all the people that are here in this wonderful, wonderful city and beautiful state of Illinois, you can download that PointsBet app right now and register your account from your phone from start to finish. You don't have to leave and go outside. You see this outfit? I know I look amazing, but this is being confused. I don't know what it is outside. All right, is it warm? Is it cold? I don't know, but this is what that is. Confusion has never looked so good. So what are you waiting for? Because once the game starts, you don't just bet. Matthew Peck, what do?
You live your freaking bet life.
Oh, and you do it with PointsBet. Joey, hit me.
How would you blokes like to make some real money?
Fantastic.
Well,
All right, real quick because we got more to get to in pregame. 5-legger for tonight. And I apologize that it's Celtics heavy, but again, I thought that maybe Zach and DeMar were going to sit tonight. So here we go.
Okay.
I got Horford over 9.5 points. I got Smart, 6+ assists. He's been balling at the point guard spot for them.
Very true.
Tatum to make 2 or more three-pointers tonight. Threw some love at P-Dub. I'm going Williams over 8.5. 8.5. Come
That's
on.
big.
You got a P-Dub.
All right.
And Celtics -7. Sorry. There it is. Okay. So we were saying last night during postgame, sounds like 99.5% Lonzo's done. It wasn't
Sounds
like
like it.
officially
Yeah,
official.
yeah.
Then the Bulls PR team came out earlier today and said, yep.
Yeah.
And then Lonzo added this. Joey, do we have that Instagram post of his? So this was Zoe on Instagram earlier today. Picture of himself gorgeously dunking in that clean white Bulls jersey.
Look at him.
With that caption, you see
On
one
the
step
wings of
back,
love.
2 steps forward. Appreciate all the love. I'll be back better than ever.
Yes, you will.
I hope you do.
Yes, you will.
I hope you do. So,
will.
This is brutal. We kind of already accepted this reality last night. Some of us began accepting this reality when they shut him down for 10 days, 15 days ago. But it still hurts. And if you haven't read it yet, our buddy Will Gottlieb wrote a great piece on just how much Lonzo has impacted the Bulls positively earlier this season when the Bulls were running the Eastern Conference.
Running.
And do we have a couple of those point differential and ratings numbers that we have in that column. Thank you, Joey. So, and it's a lot of key stats and key areas you see Lonzo affecting on the floor where the Bulls have been struggling without him. 3-point volume, obviously, all the way to the left of this graph. You see significant drop-off without Lonzo out there from 31.5 per game to not even 28.
Shocking.
3-point percentage has gone down. Assists are down. Steals down by a big fat margin.
Jesus.
Blocks even down. And then a big gap on fast break points as well, 14.5, now just 11.4. Points off turnovers, another huge Lonzo category, 19.2 when Balls was on the floor this year, just 15.2 without him. And lots of people giving Zoe their love and well wishes in the comments. Appreciate y'all.
Yes.
I mean, this is tough, Big Dave, because we know. And then you also see offensive rating, defensive rating, net rating, true shooting percentage, and pace. All real good with Lonzo out there.
Yeah.
Real bad with Lonzo not out there.
It's really simple. It's really simple math. You know what I'm saying? I know we said there wasn't going to be any math on this show, but it's really simple math. When we got Zoe, we're good. When Zoe's not out there, not so much. We're going to struggle. I'm just going to miss him so much, man. You know what I mean? For what he provided. I think of all those top 5 plays that the Bulls had. And Lonzo's in the nice chunk of them. You know what I'm saying? When I think of those plays, man, like those defensive stops he would get where he would stop the momentum of the other team.
Right.
Just by getting those deflections. You know what I mean? Not even so much the actual him getting the steal, but just him being in that passing lane, getting that deflection, and it ricochets over to Javonte. Boom, they're gone. You know what I'm saying? Transition starts, death by 1,000 cuts, kicks off, man. That's what you're going to miss. You're going to miss, the 3-point shooting, man. The spot-up shooters. That's all we're crying about now. One of the things we're crying about now is not having a spot-up shooter out there. Guys not being able to do that or knock that down at a nice clip anymore. That was definitely his thing.
Obviously, we know how much they missed the volume of his 3-point shooting, and that's been a big problem for the Bulls' offense in this difficult month of March now into April. But defensively, yes, we were all thrilled to get Caruso back, but Caruso was not even full defense Caruso because he's playing with 2 injuries right now. But even Caruso didn't do some of the things that Lonzo does on the defensive end. And when I say that, I mean the way that Lonzo could mask not just a mistake, but multiple mistakes by his teammates when they were trying to play defense for 24 seconds.
Yes.
I can't even remember how many times I said to myself or to you earlier this season after watching a Bulls defensive possession, Lonzo just guarded 4 of their guys in the span of 10 seconds.
Exactly.
And the Bulls got to stop.
Yep.
And the stop was Lonzo getting a steal.
Correct.
He literally was 3 or 4 defensive players by himself.
Yeah. It's true.
And that is what kept the Bulls' defense afloat, and even for stretches of the first half of the season, had them in that area of a top 10 defense or close to a top 10 defense.
Yeah.
That was Lonzo.
And we're going to miss it. And let me say, I do want to say this, though, Matt. I want to give credit to the front office on this. Because yesterday when we were here, one of the main things you said in your rage, one of the main things that you stated was stop playing around. Just come out, tell us what the hell is, or we know what's wrong. Just say the season's done and stop stringing us along. Get it over with. The very next day, what do you hear? Season's over. It's done.
Thank you.
Let's move forward. I give them that credit, and it just made me think of AK and Mark Eversley continuing to do everything that I've asked of them so far. You know what I mean? Just add that to the list.
So the opposite way of how the old people used to do it?
Very opposite, Matt. I'm going to go ahead and go out on the limb and say
solid
very
blueprint
opposite.
to follow so far.
Yeah.
What did they do? Let's do the other thing.
Yeah, the other thing. Oh, no, nobody's tried the other thing. Why not try the other thing?
We've tried nothing, and we're all out of ideas.
But I loved that. I really did. And I thought about you immediately when I saw that. And that's because, Matt definitely speaks for a lot of Bulls Nation out there. And I'm sure a lot of them wanted that and felt that way. And he gave them exactly that. Didn't string it along, didn't play around with it, said, boom, you know what? It's done. We're shutting them down. Here it is. Here's the truth. I appreciate how honest they've been, or honest-ish they've been, with this whole situation.
Right. They
didn't have to keep coming and telling us every week what was going on with his knee. They could have just easily just done what we're used to. What? All right, thanks, guys. They They were honest. They were straight up, and I appreciate
such
that.
and such player is day to day.
Yeah.
Just kidding. He's week to week.
Week to week.
Just kidding.
Just kidding.
He's out for the year.
What?
Which, maybe some people would say, well, isn't that kind of how this went? I was like, no, they told us everything that was happening as it was happening. They tried to ramp him up.
Yep.
They shut him down. They tried to ramp him up again.
Yep.
Still was aggravated by it.
Yep.
And then the very next day gave you that official press release. Done
did.
for the year. There's the decision.
Yes, they did.
Bullseye Insight in the comments saying those Lonzo passes were awesome, but y'all remember when he clamped down Julius Randle in the post. We missed that kind of stuff. Yes, we sure do.
Yes, we do. Very vividly. Very vividly.
Christopher saying Lonzo and Caruso together made such a huge impact on momentum, especially on defense. Very much missed with most of the players not defensive minded.
Yeah.
You are right, and that's putting it kindly. Which, you know what? When it's guys like DeMar and Zach who are out there dropping 30 or 40 or 50, you give them a pass on that defense.
Correct.
But again, that is when the team is winning, which they have not been.
And it just shows you how wonderfully constructed they were. Because everybody was really good in their roles.
Better than the sum of its parts.
Correct.
That's why they went out and got Lonzo and Caruso, guys, because they acknowledged that their two biggest weapons on the offensive end were defensive liabilities.
Correct. They understood it. They weren't blind to it. They knew what it was.
Turns out, when you take out your two defensive aces for the last third of the season,
You struggle, man?
just struggle us a little bit.
Shut up.
All right, now let's take a quick look at the Celtics, who could maybe be the Bulls' best shot at an upset in round one, Big Dave.
Maybe.
They do have a win against these Celtics from earlier this season, all the way back in November. The IO coming out party at the Boston Garden.
Oh, yes.
And then they played them in Boston again close. I believe they only lost by 3 in the second meeting.
They did.
So it's 1-1 coming into tonight. This is the third and final game, Bulls Celtics this season. And then the other element is they don't have the MVP big like Giannis in Milwaukee, like Embiid in Philly, and they are without Robert Williams. We mentioned it at the top of the show. Quick look at what Robert Williams has done for the Celtics and what they have done without him this season. Again, they're hopeful that he could come back if they make a deep playoff run, but he's out for the first round. They are 40-21 when he plays and only 9-9, 500 basketball when he sits.
Wow.
Look at that impact.
Wow.
His plus 6.1 plus minus on the court differential, 86th percentile among all NBA players this season.
Wow.
And his on-court defensive rating of 103.4, best among Celtics players, subtracting out a couple of guys who have played like 3 minutes for them this season. Of their core guys, their core rotation guys, his defensive rating is the best.
And you know what's wild? What's even bigger about that is that's what has gotten them back. You know what I'm saying? After this All-Star break was the defense. We knew they could score. We get that. Tatum, Brown, they're going to score. It was the defense that was matching that offense, and he was definitely a key part of all of that. So that's huge to lose him, man. Because what was the game they lost to the Raptors, I believe, in that overtime, man. Again, you know why? Because Siakam had like 40-something points. Not going down when Time Lord is out there like that, man. So yeah, oh my gosh, it's a huge, huge loss. He'll be back later in the playoffs, you know what I'm saying, for that team, which would be big. But they got to get out that first round first. I'm not guaranteeing anything. I mean, it's the playoffs. Nothing's guaranteed, but we'll see what they look like getting out of that first round and if they struggle to get out of that first round.
Right. And look, credit to Al Horford, who every time you think that dude's NBA career is dead, he pulls a Lee Corso on you and goes, not so fast.
You know why it's perfect for him? Because he was able to rest.
Right.
This entire time.
It was just like, oh, no, you're 70 years old and needed to chill for the first 2/3 of the season? Okay, cool. And Horford has been giving them big, good minutes recently. We mentioned it. He was on the injury report coming into tonight. He does have the green light, but he is not the young, fresh legs energy monster that Williams has been for them on the defensive end.
He played on the same college team as the guy whose jersey you're wearing, Matt.
That's true.
And that guy's been out of the league for like 6
Get
years
out my brain.
now.
I literally was going to say that. Like,
love you, Joe.
See, just why I know we're working together now. Because he's starting to get in there, man.
Man.
Make room for you, Joey. I'm making room for you. Get you a nice spot.
Won a college title all the way back in 07.
07.
Yeah.
Back to back.
And he's still logging minutes.
Back to back. And playing against the coach.
His old pal Billy Donovan.
And Billy Donovan.
Can we get Joakim in the building, please? He's not doing. I mean, I know he's an advisor. I want more. I need more from him.
By more, he means
but
just
also,
around you.
Also, maybe like I wouldn't mind like 12 minutes off the bench from him.
What? Do what?
Over Tony Bradley?
Ooh. That's hard to argue.
The man who is like unforgivably wearing this man's number right now? Yeah.
Does that make you not like
Just
him?
tape Noah over Bradley. Give it to Joe. Here you go, Joe. Go give us 12 minutes tonight.
Was that the moment when you saw him wearing 13? Was the minute you were like, I don't like Tony Bradley, or he had to prove himself?
And like he did say, like he chose 13 in part and largely in part because of how much he admires and respects Joe.
He did say this, yes.
So that like eased the burn on me a little bit, but then I watched him play in a Bulls jersey. I watched him play in a number 13 Bulls jersey and was like, no, sir. Thank you, sir, but no, sir.
Thank you. But no.
Bullseye Insight said, get Joakim on the show. Bet he'd do it for the city.
Listen, I already do security all the time, all right? Putting Joakim Noah here,
I would be a perfect gentleman, Dave.
Oh, my God. You would be a ball of goo. Like you would just melt.
I would be a perfectly gentlemanly ball of goo.
I think he'll cry. Like I mean, Pointsbet.
For sure crying.
Get your Pointsbet app up, man, because Matt, put some money on that. Matt's gonna shed a tear.
Over under on number of tears Matt sheds.
13.
When he gets to hug Joakim.
13. He's gonna
all of the tears.
All of the tears. All of the tears.
Just going real quick to this before we wrap up. Are the Celtics the team that you would like to see the Bulls draw in round one because you believe with the absence of Williams, because they don't have the MVP kind of guy like Giannis or Embiid, that they would give the Bulls the best outside shot at a first-round upset? Because here comes Jason Tatum. Like,
that's how he's coming? That's how he's walking?
Dude, Tatum's been a beast recently.
This is going to sound stupid, what I'm about to say. It's going to sound dumb. But this is, again, just how I feel. I kind of want Philly. I don't know why. I have no rhyme or reason. I have no logic behind it. They have never beaten Philly with Joel Embiid. They continue to kick the crap out of the Bulls every single time. I want Philly. I don't know. I can't put my finger. Is it because of James Harden? Maybe that's what it is. Because I don't fear him in the playoffs. And that could be the case. Tatum, Brown, they're stamped. I've seen them in the playoffs. I saw Tatum dunking over LeBron in his first time in the playoffs, all right? They're stamped in the playoffs, all right? They've proven they can do that. Marcus Smart has just always been a problem, as you mentioned. But it's something about Harden that just removes some fear from me of Philly.
I mean, like,
not saying they'll win.
I see what you're saying. Like, the Tatum and Brown have had some big, epic playoff games and moments.
Yeah.
Still haven't ever been to the finals.
Fact. They haven't. Neither is Philly, though.
That's all the same list. Embiid, Harden, the
Eastern Conference Finals.
Those guys and the Celtics crew have not been to an NBA Finals.
True.
The Bucks have. The Heat have, if you want to count the bubble. I don't. But that is what it is.
Yeah,
but I am with you in that if we do draw Philly, I'll be crossing my fingers and saying Harden chokes a lot.
Yeah.
Give me Harden chokes a lot.
Give me Harden chokes a lot. The block.
James Harden McChokes a lot.
Oh, we put a Mick in front of it.
Oh, yeah.
It's real. Yes, man. But I don't know. It's honestly, this is all feeling. I promise you, this is all feeling. There's no real logic behind it. But James Harden just does not scare me. And when I've seen him on playoff teams, on good teams, on great teams, he still has not been able to produce or come through and win, including that Nets team. Still. Walked away with the L.
That's fair. I'm with you. I've never believed in Harden come playoff time because he's never shown that he can be that guy when it matters in the playoffs.
And I do like him.
I am scared of Embiid. And anyone who's not scared of Embiid,
terrified of Embiid,
it has a mental problem.
He's going to have 50.
Yeah.
That's what the case. Yeah. It's gonna
all right. That's it. We got Bulls Celtics on deck. We'll see what happens. Zach's playing. DeMar's playing.
Yeah.
The key guys for the Celtics are playing. Maybe we'll get a game out of it.
Why not? We're here.
Either way, we will still be here.
Yep.
Meeting y'all for postgame right here from our downtown studios on the CHGO Sports YouTube channel. In the meantime, we'll be on Twitter, Bulls_Peck, BAL, BAWL Sports, CHGO_Bulls. Enjoy the game. Go Bulls. See Red be good.